Hello, everybody. This is Ryan.
And this is Kyle.
And you're listening to
The Doctor's Watcher, the podcast where I watch every episode of Doctor Who and I tell you all about it.
Oh, wait, that's what this podcast is?
Are we recording the other one today?
Oh, crap. Let me hurry and grab my other notes. No. So how's it going, Kyle?
I'm doing all right. I am a bit sleepy today. I was telling you earlier that I slept in late this morning. Mm-hmm. That is because I went to a concert last night.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was They Might Be Giants.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool. I've never seen them live before.
Yeah, me neither. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was actually this guy that I know online had a few tickets. He said he's taken his son to his son's first They Might Be Giants concert. And so he had bought like 3 tickets, but then he's like, my wife has been feeling sick recently, doesn't feel up to going. My other partner is out of town. She can't go either. So like, does anyone want this ticket? And I was like, yeah, that seems like it'd be pretty fun. I know that they're like a band that people kind of get obsessive about. So like if somebody else wants the ticket more than me, like that's cool. I get it. Mm-hmm. And then a week later, he's like, dude, like no one else has even mentioned it. So like it's yours if you want it.
Awesome. Hell yeah. I'd love to see They Might Be Giants.
Yeah, it was really cool. They opened for themselves. And
Sweet.
They're like, yeah, we're woefully under rehearsed. So just want to say on behalf of Bill Graham Entertainment that there will be no refunds. But yeah, it was nice. Cool. The opening set was all songs from one particular album, John Henry album. And cool. Then like the main set was, like spanning their career basically. But I guess during this tour, the impression I got was that like every night of the tour is going to be pretty much a different set list. And like the opening set is going to be like a different album each night and stuff.
Wow. That's rad. I mean, that would be difficult to do.
Yeah, seriously.
Even though I'm sure they've toured all the stuff and obviously they recorded it, but man, that is just a lot of music to cover, like without being able to like rehearse it for months or whatever. I don't really know what the timelines are like on that, but still, that's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Glad I did it.
Yeah. Excellent. It's actually sort of funny. I had the chance to hit a free concert yesterday also. Well, it wasn't a free concert, but a concert for free. Because my friend sent me this link. I forget even who it was. It wasn't like, someone that I was dying to go to. It was like Rusko and someone else, EDM concert.
Nice.
And yeah, my friend sent me a link, some way you could get free tickets. I didn't really look that close because, he sent it after I was in bed asleep, because I'm old, I go to bed and I'm probably asleep not too long after 10. And, yeah, I think the concert hadn't even started yet. There probably was still plenty of time to get those free tickets, whatever the deal was. But yeah, I slept through the whole thing. So
yeah, a concert that late at night is rough. Like, yeah, They Might Be Giants was 8 o'clock. So I think the show itself was probably done by like, I don't know, 10:30. So yeah, I was home by like midnight-ish.
Yeah.
But
I mean, traditionally EDM concerts are like ultra late.
Sure.
And we're going to one next week. We're actually going to Las Vegas for EDC. And I'm not really sure. I mean, I know we can do it, but still, I'm not really sure how we're going to survive. Because, like, we signed up for a little shuttle thing in and out of the concert because it's not like actually in Vegas. I think it's like a 45-minute drive outside of Vegas into the desert, to the motorway, speedway, some car race track thing. And, so they have a shuttle, and like, I'd kind of forgotten this until just recently when we were, looking at all the stuff again to get like prepped for it. Well, our shuttle time to go out like is 8:30 at night. And that's just to drive there. And then, I'm hoping we can kind of like catch an earlier shuttle to come back, because the shuttle back is 4:30 a.m.
Oh, geez.
Like, dude, I don't know if I can handle that, but probably I can. But, it's going to require like a lot of caffeine.
Yeah, definitely.
But very excited for that. It's going to be kind of grueling, 3 full days. Well, not really full days because it doesn't start till the evening, but like 3 long
full
days
nights
of music. Yeah, full nights. Yeah. Pretty much it starts when I normally go to bed, or not much before that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be awesome. And, some time off work. I took like some, I always like taking extra time on either side. So like we don't fly till Friday, but I'm taking Thursday off.
Nice.
Already. And then, the concert is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I also have Monday and Tuesday off. And then we're actually going to stay in Vegas, and I'm just going to work remotely.
Right on.
Wednesday through Friday, which hopefully doesn't suck. But then the Monday after that, I think, is Memorial Day, which I also have off. So
nice.
It's kind of nice. It's nice planning long vacations to coincide with like a long weekend, but it's also kind of nice having them be long on their own and then having a long weekend right after that.
Yeah, I actually have a long weekend planned for the weekend after Memorial Day.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
We're going to be heading down to Southern California to watch a game of the Savannah Bananas, which is, I guess, sort of like an exhibition baseball team. They're kind of like the baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, cool.
So they're all doing like tricks and shit.
Nice. I didn't know there was such a thing, but that sounds rad.
Yeah, I think it's like relatively new. I don't think they've been around for too long, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, that's very fun. I guess, there was one thing that I want to show the listeners. I got some new kind of memorabilia, Doctor Who memorabilia, that was very kindly sent to me by Benny.
Oh, nice.
Those of you old schoolers who remember, Benny's awesome run on this show. Well, here's one of them. It's a little mug that looks just like Patrick Troughton.
That's awesome.
Like, looks real good. I think, it's pretty actuurate based on the pictures I've seen.
Yeah, totally.
So that's fun. I don't have anything in it right now because, quite frankly, I haven't washed it yet, but it'll definitely be excellent for tea or coffee. And then there's this one.
Oh, nice.
Which is, quite a large mug. Listeners, it's a beautiful blue English police box. And it's got a really cool lid, which is like the top of the police box. And you can probably hear that nice sound. I kind of enjoy that sound for some reason. And yeah, this one's like really tall, or taller than, a normal cup might be. So probably I'll use it for like mints or like candy or something.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Nice shape and size for that.
Nice.
So yeah, just wanted to thank Benny for that very considerate housewarming gift, and the house is definitely warmer for it. And I'm sure they will both help with recording the podcast as well.
Totally. Yeah, send me some photos of those, and we'll see if I remember to put them on the Doctor's Watcher Blue Sky account when this episode comes out.
Yeah, okay, will do. We'll see if I remember to do that.
Nice.
Probably I will.
Listeners, if Ryan remembers to send them and I remember to post them, then you can go to our Blue Sky right now and see photos of those mugs.
Yeah, unless it takes us longer to do that than it does for this episode to come out.
Yeah, it could be that, like, I listen to this episode the morning it comes out, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to go post those.
Right. Or you text me, oh shit, dude, send me those pictures.
Nice.
Cool. Well, one last note before we get started. There's once a linguistics professor who said during a lecture, in English, a double negative can form a positive, but like in other languages, like Russian or Spanish, a double negative is still like extra negative.
Right.
But there are no languages in the world where a double positive forms a negative. And someone from the back of the room piped up and said, yeah, right.
Nice. Well, shall we get to our episode of the day?
Yeah, right. I mean, yes.
Nice. So this is the 23rd episode of season 4. We are starting a new serial. So this is episode 1 of the Moonbase.
Oh, cool. Very exciting. Moonbase. Okay.
The written by credit on this serial officially goes to Kit Pedler, who co-wrote The 10th Planet with Jerry Davis. And what I read online is that, according to some documentary, Jerry Davis actually co-wrote this serial with Kit also, but due to some BBC policy that I don't know what it is, he's uncredited on it. So,
That's kind of weird. But not the first time BBC's done weird, seemingly kind of asshole-ish things. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can thank Kit Pedler and probably also Jerry Davis for this one.
Nice.
It was directed by Morris Berry, and it's his first Doctor Who serial. He will also go on to direct the first serial in season 5 and the first serial in season 6.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And this episode is unfortunately missing, as you can probably, well, you have a decent chance of guessing at this point in the show.
Yeah. Seems like a lot have gone, almost become lost to the sands of time.
Yeah. So Loose Cannon, of course, did fill in the gaps. They produced LC-18 in 2002. But the BBC actually, they released the serial on DVD in 2014, and they produced an animated version of this episode. So that's actually what I ended up watching.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that they've kind of been filling. I mean, nothing even close to Loose Cannon, but I do like that the BBC sometimes kind of tries to, restore and fill in the gaps.
Yeah, totally. Do you recall what our cliffhanger was at the end of the last serial?
Oh, geez. Crap. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. I actually don't this time.
Yeah, so we finished up dealing with Atlantis and all of their stuff.
Yeah.
The TARDIS is leaving, and the companions, Ben and Polly and Jamie, all kind of start asking the Doctor about his inability to control where the TARDIS is going.
Right.
So he's just like...
And he's like, of course I can control it.
We're going to go to Mars. And then, of course, like, immediately loses control. Everyone gets, like, thrown around the TARDIS control room and everything.
That's like Monty Python level TV right there. Excellent.
And so that's basically where we pick up. Like, the TARDIS is rocking around. Everyone is, shifting their body weight back and forth to match the camera motions. The Doctor is fighting to regain control of the TARDIS, which basically means he's moving a lever back and forth, but he's doing it, like, with great difficulty.
Nice.
But this works, though. He succeeds on his control TARDIS skill check, and they start to materialize.
Okay, that's good.
So, yeah, Polly looks up at the scanner, and she's like, oh shit, you actually did it, Doctor. You actually took us to Mars. And Ben doesn't think so, though.
Hey, wait a mo. This don't look like Mars to me.
How would you know? You've never seen it.
No, Duchess, but I have seen pictures of the moon's surface, and that's what this looks like.
Duchess, nice. That's a cool slang.
Yeah, that's kind of, I guess, his nickname for her.
Oh, okay.
And the doctor confirms that Ben's right. This is actually the moon.
Well, you weren't too far out, were you? Only about 200 million miles.
So, I guess the reason that Polly thought they were on Mars, is, I think, like, it has been previously established in dialogue that the scanner in the TARDIS control room is black and white.
Oh, okay.
So,
can't tell if it's red or not. That way.
An image of the Martian surface in black and white probably does look pretty similar to an image of the lunar surface in black and white.
Yeah, probably so.
The Doctor wants to just immediately GTFO without even leaving the TARDIS. He's just like, moon adventure, I don't give a fuck. But Ben and Polly are like, fuck that, like, you're not gonna land on the fucking moon and not let us check it out. So the Doctor's just like,
well, if you must go ashore, only half an hour.
And he, like, points them over to the chest that he stores the spacesuits in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, usually he just kind of, like, pops out the door and, tests be damned. I was wondering if he was gonna do that this time, but glad he remembered to think of the suits.
Jamie's like,
we'll maybe meet the old man of the moon.
And they're like, oh yeah, you're here too.
You're here too, and you've got all these dumb ideas.
So we cut to the exterior, and we see them all exit the TARDIS wearing spacesuits. These are your classic, like, 1960s sci-fi spacesuits. It's, like, fairly skin-tight, sort of metallic-looking fabric with, like, boots and gloves. And then they have just these big glass bubbles over their heads, and there's, like, a tube, running from the helmet bubble to, like, some sort of tank on their back.
Awesome.
They also all have, like, pretty rad, like, kind of diamond-shaped sunglasses on.
Cool.
So, yeah, that was cool.
Nice.
Polly sees a light kind of glow on the horizon a couple of times, but no one else sees it. I guess they're all looking away. And then, of course, it stops when they look back to it. So she comments, no one else really kind of gives a shit, and they just kind of move on. The doctor suggests that they try jumping because, lunar gravity and whatever. Mm-hmm. So they do. It's great fun. Everyone has a blast, like jumping around.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was a moment that I was like, oh, I kind of would like to see the original episode. It's a shame that it's missing.
Yeah, I bet it looked pretty both fun and quite silly. Like I imagine them like on wires or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Awkwardly floating around.
Yeah, using probably the same set that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing in.
Yeah, right.
Polly actually jumps over to like right near the edge of a big crater, and she calls Ben and Jamie to come join her. So they each jump, and Ben, lands right next to her. Jamie jumped a bit too hard, and he just like completely goes over the edge of the crater. So they all look down into the crater, and they see him like unconscious on the crater floor.
Oh no.
It's a bad landing, I guess. And his unconscious body is next to sort of a large building or like complex of buildings with a glass dome over it. And as they watch, a couple people in spacesuits come out of this building complex and pick Jamie up and take him inside.
Nice.
So yeah, the rest of the PCs figure that they've, got to go check up on him or whatever. So they all head down into the crater and knock on the airlock door and get let in. And the GM's like, you're going to play my fucking moon adventure, like it or not.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of times it seems like the GM kind of makes decisions of, yeah, you're getting railroaded no matter what you want to do in this game.
Sure, I'll let you split the party for like 30 seconds, and then you're all getting captured together again.
Right, exactly.
We cut to the control room of the Moonbase, and there are a bunch of technicians like sitting at consoles. They're monitoring various dials and needles and gauges. And one of the technicians like passes out at his post. He just kind of like slumps unconscious. And in the process of doing so, he pushes up a lever at his control station. And as soon as this happens, or like a few moments later, an alarm starts to sound. And there's like a big map of Earth on the wall in this control room. And this big symbol lights up over Russia on the map. It matches a symbol that was already lit up over the Atlantic Ocean. But, now there's two of these symbols on the map.
Oh.
So, the other technicians all kind of start to freak out, and they start like pulling levers and flipping switches and shit. And the alarm sound stops. But then we see that these weird sort of black vein-like markings appear on the passed out technician's face. They just kind of like fade into view. These sort of like, it's kind of like branching, like it looks like a tree almost, like tree limbs and branches and shit. But yeah, just these weird black marks on his face.
Weird.
So a couple of the other technicians pick him up, and they're going to carry him to sick bay, even though apparently the Moonbase doctor has also been afflicted with whatever's going on with this guy. But they're like, we'd better get this guy to sick bay anyway. the next shuttle rocket from Earth is going to have a relief doctor on it. So, get things contained as much as we can, I suppose.
Yeah. Weird. So how do we find out that the current doctor is also having this black tree marking on his face?
It's just in the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just talking about, like, let's get this guy to sick bay, and then it's like, oh, well, the doctor's kind of fucked up, too. It's like, yeah, but we'll have a relief doctor, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully that one lasts long enough to figure it out before he gets the markings also.
Uh-huh. The head person in charge of the Moonbase is this guy named Hobson, and Polly and Ben and the doctor are all taken to meet Hobson after they've gone through the sterile room. The doctor asks for Jamie back, saying that, if they just, give Jamie back to them, then they'll be on their way. But Hobson's like, nope, you're not getting out of playing this moon adventure that easily. So Polly puts on her HMS PJ captain's hat and asks to see Jamie. So this French guy, Benoit, leads her away. Hobson says that Ben and the doctor need an extra bacteria check, and they need to meet the Moonbase team and listen to what Hobson has to say. And they're basically just like, all right, fine, whatever. I guess we're doing this adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's funny that Polly got to choose her own adventure.
Uh-huh.
The doctor and Ben are still stuck on the rails.
Yeah, GM's like, yeah, Polly made her request before I started railroading, so she's fine.
Right.
Hello, Doctor's Watcher listeners. We are your servants. We do not need guns, but we do need your 5-star ratings and reviews. No more than 5 stars to be seen together at any one time. We are ready to teach these human beings the law of the Doctor's Watcher. Back to the show.
So Ben and the doctor get taken into the main control room, where Hobson and the technicians basically ask if they know what this place is. The doctor rolls a quick knowledge check, and then he's like, yeah, obviously this is a weather control station. You use that gravity device over there to control the weather, right? And Hobson's like, yeah, you fucking idiot.
Well, where have you been for the last 20 years? Every school kid knows about the gravitron in there.
The doctor's like, oh, cool. So it must be year 2050 or so. And Hobson's like,
We got a proper Rip Van Winkle here. 2070, in case you'd like to know.
Whoa. Which is sort of hilarious also because, in normal conversation, if someone gets the year 20 years off, you'd be like, what the fuck, dude?
uh-huh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, if I met someone who's like, yeah, it's I don't know, 2005 right now, right? I don't think my response would be like, oh, Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah, it'd be like, did you hit your head?
Uh-huh.
Did you just wake up from a coma? What's going on here?
But apparently the way this weather control center works is that they use the gravitron to control the tides on Earth. And by controlling the tides, they can, I guess, sort of indirectly control the weather that way.
That seems like it would make sense. But I don't know enough about it to argue it, so okay.
Uh-huh. The doctor wants to get introduced to everyone, And the GM's like, yeah, totally. These NPCs are definitely all fully developed characters with names that I'm not just making up on the spot. The French guy is Roger Benoit. There's also Joe Benson, Niels the Mad Dane, and Charlie, Ralph, Jules, and Franz.
Nice. It's like he was trying at first, and then he was like, yeah, here's just a bunch of others.
These dudes also have names.
Right.
But then one of the dudes in the Gravitron chamber passes out, and some shit on the big Earth map on the wall starts to move, like some of the symbols and shit. And then they get a call from International Space Control Headquarters Earth complaining that the hurricane that they were guiding is now 45 degrees off course and threatening Hawaii.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that seems kind of bad.
Yeah.
Hobson's just like, yeah, that's because our dudes are all passing out with a mystery illness. So Earth just kind of tells them to stand by for further instructions. While they're standing by, Niels the Mad Dane like plays back the conversation that they just had with Earth, and he points out that there's a big noise ratio, which would indicate that someone nearby is monitoring all of their communications.
Interesting.
The episode editor is like, yeah, that's true, and cuts over to a saucer-shaped spaceship parked just on the lunar surface, like not too far from the base. And conversation with Earth resumes, like, while the camera is pointing at the spaceship. So we're like, oh shit, this spaceship is monitoring them. Earth tells them to send down some blood samples on the next rocket so they can, like, analyze this mystery illness or whatever. But the next rocket isn't going to be for another month. And in the meantime, the Moonbase is just under quarantine now. And yeah, Earth just kind of like ends the conversation and like hangs up on the moon.
Dicks.
And yeah, then like Niels reiterates that like that entire conversation was being monitored by somebody we don't know. But Hobson doesn't really give a shit about that right now. He's just concerned about the illness and about like getting the hurricane back under control and whatever. I guess the communications being monitored is a later problem.
Right.
The doctor offers to help out in sickbay. So he and Ben get led away, and then we cut over to sickbay, where Polly is attaching a medical device to Jamie's chest, and the doctor is explaining that this device is basically going to like monitor and control everything for them. So, you know, keep an eye on his vitals, it'll like dispense medication as needed, etc. So they pretty much just can kind of like plug it in and turn it on and forget about it.
Nice.
The doctor thinks that Jamie is concussed and feverish. I guess like he must have hit his head when he fell down the crater or whatever. But the doctor says he'll be fine after he gets some rest. Jamie, who's kind of like half conscious, he starts moaning about the McCrimmon Piper. And Polly explains to everyone that as far as she can tell, you know, presumably he's been moaning about it for a little while she's been there. So as far as she can tell, this is a legend in Jamie's family that, like, when you're about to die, this Piper will appear before you.
Oh, good cover. Nice thinking.
Yeah. So, Jamie's been, like, moaning about the McCrimmon Piper. He's, like, asking them to keep the Piper away from him. And the doctor asks Polly if Jamie has actually seen the Piper yet. And she's like,
You don't believe it, do you?
No, but he does. It's important to him.
Okay.
but apparently he hasn't seen it, according to Polly. And so the doctor takes this as a good sign. He sends Ben back to the main control room to, like, help out and keep an eye on things or whatever. He doesn't really have any more specific instructions for Ben than that. And Polly is basically just going to stay in sickbay doing, like, nurse type stuff while the doctor ponders how this epidemic, this mystery illness, doesn't really seem like a real disease to him.
Interesting.
Well, not real. What more do you want?
I don't know, but there are certain signs and symptoms which don't add up.
Cool, but don't tell us which ones, right?
Yeah, totally. Back in the control room, Hobson is pretty worried about what the Moonbase is going to do, basically, if they keep losing people to this mystery illness. Apparently, the consequences of fucking up the gravitron can be pretty bad. Not just, like, accidentally sending a hurricane to Hawaii, but shit like lifting London into space or raising the Atlantic water level by 3 feet, like, across the board.
Not that again.
So, yeah, the stakes can potentially be pretty high. I guess if you have a gravitron, like, yeah, lifting London into space probably seems like a thing you can do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess if it's, like, yeah, massively overpowered. Or, I mean, who knows? Maybe you need that much power to push the water around and control the tides and track, I guess, hurricanes in the direction you want them to go and stuff like that.
So Ben shows up back at the control room. He's offering to help. Hobson's like, dude, what the fuck can you do? And the French guy, Benoit, is like, he can help me. So Hobson's like, all right, whatever, I don't give a shit. Hobson leaves. So Benoit is like, hey, go clear away those coffee cups and give Ralph a hand in the food store.
Nice.
So yeah, Ben clears away the coffee cups and, like, starts heading down to the food storage area. Over in the food store, Ralph is putting supplies onto a cart, and he discovers a bag of sugar with a hole in the bottom. And apparently it is not the first one that he's found.
Anyone would think we've got rats up here.
Knowing what we used to do in Mom's kitchen, could be children.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems more likely than rats on the moon.
Yeah.
So Ben shows up in the food storage. He's offering to help. So Ralph basically, like, gives him a list of supplies to go collect, like, from the back of the storage area. So Ben heads around back. And while Ben is back there, the camera operator of this animation stays with Ralph, and this sort of very large, kind of shadowy figure shows up. We don't really get a good look at it, but it raises its arm, which is, like, pretty angular looking. It's got, like, very kind of spiky fingers, and it raises its arm, kind of, like, points it towards Ralph, and then electrocutes him with like bolt of electricity coming from its arm.
Ooh.
And
That's what, like a level 3 spell, I think?
yeah, that sounds right.
Nice.
Ralph is just completely knocked unconscious, and this large shadowy figure like drags his body away before Ben gets back from the back of the storeroom.
Dang.
Number 14. Ralph? Where are you? Scarford. Funny bloke.
Oh, man. Ben has a way with words.
Uh-huh. Back in sickbay, Polly has been dozing. She's taking a little bit of a nap until the doctor wakes her up to tell her that he's been investigating, and he shows her this piece of silver paper that he found. She's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "No idea, but it had a glowing outline when I hovered my mouse over it, so I added it to my inventory."
Nice.
The lights in sickbay suddenly dim, and Polly starts to worry that like something's going wrong, but the doctor says it's probably just the Moonbase's artificial day and night cycle. Polly, kind of gives him a questioning look or whatever, so he puts on his educational moment hat, and he says,
Oh, well, you see, it's rather interesting, really. You see, on the moon, they have a fortnight of days and a fortnight of nights.
Well,
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They have to make their own day and night artificially up here, or it should upset their whole biological time clock.
Makes sense, I guess. I wonder
Yeah.
if that really is true about the moon. 2 weeks of like sunlight and 2 weeks of shadow.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think it is.
Huh, okay.
So as they discuss this, and, he kind of fills her in on what he means about the biological time clock and whatever, suddenly one of the patients in sickbay, which happens to be Dr. Evans, the Moonbase's doctor, he screams, and he mumbles something about not letting the silver hand touch him, and then he dies.
Whoa.
We cut back to the control room where Ben has come to tell Hobson that Ralph disappeared. And Hobson's like,
Why didn't you report this to me?
Ben's just like, "I'm doing it fucking right now. I'm reporting it to you."
Right, clearly.
Uh-huh. The doctor shows up, and he's like, "Dude, your main Moonbase doctor is dead now." And Benoit is like, "Shit, merde, we'd better report it."
Nice.
Uh-huh. Hobson's like, no. You know what those Earth fuckers are like. We need to collect more information first before we report it. So they all head down to sickbay.
Well, that seems safe. With people randomly dying, not really sure what's going on or how it's transmitted.
Yeah.
Let's just go, near where it was happening. Cool.
So they all head down there. Jamie is sitting up on his bed, and Polly is helping him with a glass of water. He sees some movement behind Jamie, and I guess what he sees is pretty scary because he basically just passes out again as soon as he sees it. Polly turns around to check it out, and she screams, and she sees this large humanoid shape leaving through the back doorway of sickbay. And just then, soon as it leaves, Hobson and the doctor and Niels and Benoit all arrive through the front door of sickbay. she tells them all that something just left. So a couple of them go and like check out the back door, but they don't see anything. They go to examine the dead Moonbase doctor's body, but when they pull the sheet back, the body is missing.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
Like, did it still look like there was a body shape underneath it?
I think when they... Of course, this is the animation, so who knows what the original was. But I think when they pulled the sheet back, I think there were pillows under it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Hobson is like, what the fuck? That's not a funny joke. And the doctor's like, that's right, because it's not a joke, period. Benoit, meanwhile, says that someone else back up in the control room has collapsed, and the gravitron's going all out of alignment again. So Hobson rushes off to go deal with that. He tells the PCs as he leaves that if they don't find the dead doctor's body, he's kicking them out of the Moonbase, quarantine or not.
Okay.
The doctor tells Polly that he's going to leave her alone for a minute. He doesn't say why or for how long or anything, just like, going to leave you alone here in sickbay for a minute, and then he leaves. Jamie starts moaning some more and asking for a glass of water. So Polly goes to get him a glass, which leaves Jamie, functionally alone in sickbay, other than like the other unconscious patients.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as Polly's gone, the back doors to the room open again, and this tall humanoid figure walks in. It's got sort of like flex tubes kind of running up and down the sides of its arms and legs, connected to like these weird sort of balls at the joints. And it's got like sort of metallic suit or something on, and there's like this big device attached to its chest. It kind of looks like a big speaker or something. There are a bunch of wires coming off of the chest device attaching to various other body parts. And it's got a flat metal face with round holes where the eyes go, and a thin rectangular hole where the mouth goes. And then it's got these metal pipes coming off of its ears and like kind of going up and curving in and attaching to a thing on top of its head.
Oh boy.
And if you were picturing this in your brain, you're right. It's a Cyberman. And
oh, fuck.
It has been redesigned already after only one previous appearance on the show.
Yeah, I was thinking like that really sounds like a Cyberman, but didn't they sort of look more like evil Lego guys last time?
Uh-huh. So yeah,
cool.
It's definitely a Cyberman. It's definitely been redesigned. Honestly, I think that's a good thing because, yeah, this one looks better than the first ones.
Nice, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's exciting.
Uh-huh.
And foreboding.
Jamie's like,
It's you. The Phantom Piper.
Nice.
uh-huh. And yeah, music plays, and the words on the screen say Doctor Who Patrick Troughton.
Nice. Well, that is that's a hilarious way to end the episode. Like, yeah, that's your Phantom Piper, buddy. That's what they always look like.
Yeah,
every
totally.
Piper who's a Phantom, it's just looks very similar to Cyberman.
Yeah, looks like a big robot dude that doesn't have bagpipes.
Right. Huh, well, that's pretty cool. Just the audio side of me wonders why, when this Cyberman presumably is, listening into the communications, why does it introduce so much noise? Because
Yeah,
it's not
it's a
as
good
if
question.
he's like putting anything into the communication. He's picking up the same signal, that they're all using. So that's kind of weird, but okay, interesting. They needed some plot point to tell them, to make the hint.
Yeah, I guess, we'll have to like headcanon it basically as cyber technology somehow interfering with the signal, I guess.
Right, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
which still feels weird because usually their tech is, pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah, even then, like, that wouldn't necessarily indicate that, like, oh, someone is listening in so much as, like, someone's jamming the signal or something.
Yeah. Or like, oh, there must be some cosmic interference happening right now or something to that effect. But yeah, that's cool though. That's very exciting. Got a Cyberman there at the end, and got some interesting and very mysterious like disease type stuff going on. Some pretty funny, I don't know, pratfalls from Jamie hitting his head on the inside of the fishbowl spacesuit. And thinking there's an old man in the moon, and then finding an old man in the moon, but thinking he's a Piper.
Yeah, he really just kind of like, I guess he's from, the 18th century or whatever, so...
Right.
But yeah, he shows up, he gets himself knocked out, and then he's just kind of like unconscious for pretty much the rest of the episode.
Right. And most of the times he was conscious, he was saying like weird, comically, not that it was his fault, but comically stupid things. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This is exciting.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to note on this one was that I didn't find a good spot to mention this like during the episode, but I just wanted to call out the fact that Benoit and Niels often referred to Hobson as Hobby, which I thought was like pretty cute and fun.
Yeah, I like that. Hobby. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice on the French accent, by the way. That was great. How are you doing, Benoit?
Nice. Yeah, I didn't practice that accent beforehand, so I felt like it came out okay.
Yeah, I could tell. It's that whole oui, I'm a sleazy Frenchman kind of feel to it. I mean, I didn't get the impression that Benoit was sleazy, but just being a Frenchman, you sort of assume sometimes.
Yeah, it kind of just comes with it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like how this is going so far. I'm a big fan of the sci-fi episodes, and I especially like the big famous baddies, Daleks, of course, but Cybermen are right up there. Perhaps at some point we should, do an investigation into who would win in a war, Daleks versus Cybermen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I thought it was fun that they're like, all right, we got a new Doctor, gotta like bust out all the old hits. Like we did a Daleks one, now let's do a Cyberman one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that we just did Cybermen like 2 or 3 serials ago. That was a different Doctor.
Yeah. Well, and plus we got a historical thing that was pretty close to home, in the British Isles area. Like they really are busting out all the old hits.
Yeah, totally.
Well, awesome. Can't wait to find out what happens next episode.
Cool. Well, yeah, listeners, if you want to find out what happens next episode, then you have 2 weeks to tell all your friends, leave us ratings and reviews, send us emails. What else do we say?
Scream into the blue sky.
That, yeah, I don't think I've actually checked in a while. But
Yeah, I need to watch closer because, yeah, I'm not super diligent about checking blue sky, and I assume you've been, like, you know, what, bleating or blue skying about our episodes, but I think I don't always catch them to
oh, sure.
relaunch them back to the blue sky. So
Yeah, I think I've been remembering to post about our new episodes like maybe half the time.
nice.
So
Well, that's cool. I mean, you know, the whole strategy behind that is when someone goes to look, they'll be like, oh, fuck yeah, there's way more episodes that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
And they'll go back and listen to those ones too.
yeah, totally. It is 100% calculated strategy to only post like half the time.
Right, exactly.
Nice.
Cool. All right then. Well, Kyle and listeners, I guess you'll have to calm yourselves for 2 weeks. But then after that, we will see you and resume this awesome Doctor Who serial.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, let's move on while we can.
Now, wait a minute. You don't expect to land us on the moon and just let us fly off just like that, do you?
Yeah, at least let's have a look round. How picture can it be the moon? The moon's way up in the sky. Where do you think you're going? Well, you're not going to tell us it's no, surely.
Ah, please, Doctor. The Tardis isn't out of control or anything, is it?
No. It was just a bumpy landing, that's all.
Yeah. Well, if you must go ashore, only half an hour. Right. If you can't go ashore like that, you need spacesuits. There's no atmosphere out there. Come on, there's some in the chest. We'll maybe meet the old man of the moon. You won't meet nobody, mate, if you don't get some gear on.
What?
Oh, aye.